Here's what I think we should be demanding. And I think we are demanding this. But apparently we need to demand it a little bit louder. Number one, absolutely protect the victims. We don't need sloppy releases. We don't need doxing, and we don't need spectacle. If victims want to come forward, that's up to them to do. We don't need to do that. We should always protect that. And no one's asking for that. We need to release what can be released lawfully, and wherever the redactions are, they need to be cleanly redacted, and we should be explaining what cannot be redacted, particularly when it comes to naming prosecutions. We should be naming prosecutions, naming targets, naming timelines. We cannot do this on vibes and stock charts. And if crimes are provable, bring actual charges. People should be perp walked, no matter who it embarrasses, no matter what institution it brings down. Because if America has to choose between keeping the machine running and telling the truth about trafficking, then the machine may already be rotten. If justice threatens our economy, then our economy isn't prosperity, it's a ransom note, and it's holding all of us hostage. Here's the part I don't think we're saying plainly enough. The reason people are using the phrase cover up is not because they want gossip. At least I don't believe. I'm not using it because of gossip. It's because we're watching government officials dodge obvious accountability, pivot around what is obvious truth, and we're seeing it in broad daylight. There has been no clear denial that, quote, nothing exists worth pursuing. Just carefully worded statements, narrow claims on political sparring. No one has denied allegations so far. They've simply said there's nothing to see here. And a lack of denial on the record over and over should tell us that whatever there is to see, they are unwilling to acknowledge in any meaningful way. So no, I'm not going to let this go. Not because it's trendy, not because it's politics, but because truth matters and justice matters. The weakest among us matter. Those who cannot fight for themselves matter. This should not be a partisan issue at all. We should see this for exactly the demonic evil that it is and look to squash it out wherever it is. I don't understand the hesitancy, unless the only thing that makes sense to me, and you tell me, all right, maybe I'm wrong, but the only thing that makes sense to me is there are so many important people who are wrapped up in this thing that they're afraid the whole power system comes crashing down. That's all I can think of. Because why would you obfuscate like this otherwise? Romans 13 says government is supposed to punish wrongdoers and praise what is good. When government protects wrongdoers because they're influential, because they're wealthy, or they're connected, it flips that God-given purpose upside down. You want to talk about how Rome fell? You want to talk about how nations rise and fall? A nation doesn't fall just because it has enemies. It falls when its gatekeepers protect predators from within. And this idea that we can't tell the truth because it'll bring everything crashing down. It'll bring our economy crashing down. That's the same argument that the Confederates used when they defended slavery prior to and during the Civil War, that they would wreck their economy. That their economy was built on slave labor. Their economy was built on prejudice and injustice. Well, if we are tying the stock market to Jeffrey Epstein and his sex trafficking operation, then that would at least imply that maybe there's something there. I really hope and pray that our stock market, that our economy, that our institutions are not dependent upon the sexual exploitation, kidnapping, torture, and destruction of these children's lives. I really pray that's not the case. Make no mistake, I want to win. I want liberty to win. I want America to win. But you don't make America great again by sealing injustice in a vault. You don't defend children with stock market updates, and you don't honor God by protecting the powerful and leaving the crushed to fall under the weight. So yeah, If you want to fire Pam Bondi, fine, go ahead. But I want the truth. I want prosecutions. I want accountability so public, so undeniable, that it terrifies for generations to come of would-be predators. Ye be warned, do not try this again. I don't want a party. I want justice.